Alright guys, remember a few weeks back we talked about ratios and rates, and we talked about how ratios are comparisons of two different things, two different quantities. And we talked a little bit about rate and about unit rate, and how the unit rate was when we compare something per one, like the cost per item or the cost per weight, things like that. So we're going to do a little bit more work with ratio and rate today, and just look at a couple of practice examples. Holly picked 45 oranges in 5 minutes. How many oranges did she pick per minute? So we're looking for a unit rate here because we're looking per 1 minute. So the first thing we do is we write that ratio as a fraction. So we're going to write 45 over 5. And then you know this is an improper fraction. So in order to fix this and to get out of this kind of fraction, we've got to divide 5 into 45, which gives us 9. So we divide that fraction by the denominator, which is what we did right here, which gives us 9 oranges per 1 minute. That's your unit rate because it's something per one whatever. Let's look at another example. Example 2 says 224 passengers in 7 buses equals blank passengers per bus. So we're looking at how many passengers per bus. So same thing. We want to go back to step 1 here. We want to write that ratio as a fraction. So we're looking at 224 passengers per 7 buses. So 224 per 7 buses. Again, improper fraction, so we divide our fraction by the denominator. So we divide 7 into 224. Now we know 7 won't go into 2, but it will go into 22. It'll go 3 times, and 7 times 3 is 21. When we subtract, here we get 1 and bring down our 4. 7 will go into 14 2 times, and 7 times 2 is 14. Subtract and no remainder. So what is my unit rate? How many passengers per bus here? 32. Let's look at another example together. Mr. Baker creates 35 math test problems in 5 hours for the upcoming test. How many questions does Mr. Baker create in 3 hours? So first of all, we're looking at 3 hours here instead of 1. We're not looking for a unit rate. We are still looking at a rate though. So our steps are the same. We write that ratio as a fraction, 35 math test problems to 5 hours. So 35 to 5. Then we do the same thing. We divide again. 5 will go into 35 7 times. Then that 7, that is our unit rate. If we want to know in 3 hours, that's in 1 hour. So if we want to check 3 hours, we take that 7 and we multiply it by 3, and that gives us how many questions did he create in 3 hours, which is 21. All right, let's look at another example. A 16-ounce bag of potato chips costs $3.36. What is the unit rate? Remember, we're looking at units, so we're looking at the cost per one something. So a 16-ounce bag of chips costs $3.36. So we're looking for that price per ounce. That's our unit we're working with. We do the same exact thing. We divide. We set it up as a fraction. We've got $3.36 ounces, $3.36 for 16 ounces. We do it the same way. We divide 16 into $3.36. 16 won't go into 3. Remember, when we divide decimals, we take that decimal right up here, and then we just kind of forget about it for a second. So 16 will go into 33. Go 2 times, gives us 16. We subtract, and we get 1. Bring down our 6. 16 goes into 16 1 time. So right here is your unit rate. So it's going to cost 21 cents per ounce. All right, on this next example, we're going to look at some comparisons here. Joe compared the cost of popcorn at 5 different movie theaters. Here's his table, his comparison table. The question says, which movie theater charges the least amount per ounce? So we're looking at that smallest unit rate. So we've got to go through these and we've got to figure out which one is the smallest per ounce. So if we look at our first one, we're going to divide 32 ounces into $6.08. Our second one, we're going to divide 48 ounces into $7.20. Then we're going to divide 60 ounces into $10.80. Then we're going to do 64 ounces into $10.88. And then last, we're going to do 80 ounces into $11.20. So remember, same thing. We're dividing with decimals. Let's carry our decimal right up top. And then let's just divide like normal. 32 will go into 60 one time. 32 times 1 is 32. We subtract and we get 28. 32 will not go into 28. So we bring down that 8. 32 will go into 288. If you don't know, list out your multiples over here to the side. 32, 64, so on and so forth. When you figure that out, you figure out that 32 goes into 288 9 times. 32 times 9 is 288, so we don't have anything left over. Alright, so we know that this first one, Street Cinema, is 19 cents per ounce. That's the unit rate. So for my second one, same thing. We're doing 48, and it won't go into 7. Take that decimal up. It will go into 72. It'll go one time. 48 times 1 is 48. When we subtract, we get 24. Bring down that 0. 48 will go into 245 times. So my unit rate here, well, 48 times 5 is 240, so there's nothing left. So my unit rate here is 15 cents per ounce. Same thing on that next one. Take that decimal right up there. 60 will not go into 1 or 10, but it will go into 108. It will go one time, which gives us 60. When we subtract here, 48. 60 will not go into 48, so we bring down our 0. 60 will go into 480. We'll go 8 times. 60 times 8 is 480. Nothing left, so 18 cents per ounce here. Okay, we got 2 more left. Take that decimal right up top. 64 will not go into 110, but it'll go into 108. And it'll go one time, which gives us 60 again. Subtract, we're left with 44. 64 won't work into that, so we bring down that 8. 64 will go into 448, goes 7 times. 64 times 7 is 448, nothing left. So 17 cents per ounce here. And last one, 80, take that decimal up. 80 will not go into 1, it won't go into 11, but it will go into 112. It'll go one time. It gives us 80. When we subtract, we get 32. Bring down that 0. 80 will go into 324 times. 80 times 4 is 320. Nothing left. So this one is 14 cents per ounce. So if we go back to our question, which movie theater charges the least amount per ounce? Which of these is the least amount per ounce? It's going to be your Palace Theater. So we had to figure out all of those unit rates, and then we had to find our least amount.